Hi guys, I'm back. 2 videos in one day. I don't know what happened to the last video that I posted where I was driving in the car and telling you how excited I was for going to heaven and the Lord's return and all, because I know it's close. All of a sudden the video turned sideways. It wasn't vertical, it wasn't horizontal. It turned vertical. I don't know. It was just you had to turn your phone or your computer to the side to see it. And then I got a comment saying that it was only 90 seconds long, and it was an 8 to 9 minute video. So I'm not sure what happened there. I didn't touch anything. I didn't do anything to make that happen. But anyhow, I'm kind of bummed that it is no longer there, but I guess that the people who got to see it, it was good for, and I don't know what else to say. And then I was getting some comments. Most of them were good, but there was one comment where a lady was concerned that I was believing my son Tyler, who committed suicide, was in hell, burning in hell. There's no way that I believe that. He was saved. He trusted Jesus. He loved the Lord. He struggled mentally and physically with things unimaginable. I mean, things that I wouldn't even be able to take personally. Being his mom, I had to try to handle it, and I felt like a lot of the pressure was on me as well. He had type 1 diabetes that he got when he was 4. He says he never remembered not being diabetic. So therefore that cut off different foods that he, couldn't eat. And, if anyone knows what type 1 diabetes is, it's insulin shots for the rest of your life, several times a day. And he was only 4. And then 2 years after that, he developed epilepsy. So he was having seizures randomly. They went on till he was about 16. And then they went away, only to be replaced by diabetic, low blood sugar seizures. He then had developed asthma and celiac disease. It just kept coming. And his sisters and me and his dad were all healthy, but he was the one that was just being burdened by these health issues. And his dream was to be a firefighter and paramedic, and he fought for it. He fought for it and he obtained it. He was working as a firefighter and a paramedic in Oregon, and the diabetes started really wreaking havoc on his body. He wasn't able to feel his feet very much anymore. They were becoming numb, and he was only 21 years old. He was having seizures on the job, low blood sugar seizures, in the middle of fighting fires. He went down to the California fires, and he was like day 2 into fighting that fire that he had a bad seizure and hit his head on one of the engines, and he was rushed into the ER and then sent back home to Oregon. It really disturbed him, because his dream was to do that, to fight fires and help people and make things right. He struggled with relationships with his girlfriends, and I think he was just really insecure in that way. And I do believe, knowing my son, that at about the age of 17, I believe I started seeing signs of bipolar disorder. I'm a mental health nurse, and so I know what to look for in that way. At 17 years old, he was the first time that he attempted suicide. And he tried to overdose on insulin at that time. And so, being he was 17, a week away from 18, I didn't have a whole lot of time, Mike and I didn't, to help him. And so we were able to take him into a psych hospital here where we live, and they talked with him and did the assessment, and he told them the right things, and they didn't admit him. Well, he turned 18 almost a week later, so I couldn't make him do anything at that point. I knew at that point it was just a matter of time that he would take his life. There are certain statistics that say that chances are higher that a person will, if they attempt it one time, that there will be a later time where it will be successful. Well, that was Tyler's case. He was crying out for help in the department that he worked. I got word after he passed away that about 7 times in a year and a half he had threatened suicide or talked about it. I think it was more he talked about it. And they got the chaplain out to see him, and they never did anything for him as far as trying to get him help or calling us. I don't blame them, because Tyler told them that he was fine, that it was just a passing thought and whatever. His best friend there really did everything he could to try to protect Tyler on several occasions, to keep Tyler from actually being successful. Tyler was in debt tremendously. He was, I believe, because of the bipolar that he was very impulsive in his spending and his decisions. And he spent money, like a 21-year-old would. He never drank, he never smoked. Not that that makes him a good kid, but that was one thing that he didn't, he didn't become addicted to that kind of lifestyle. It was more just buying stereo systems and drums. He loved playing the drums and whatever. So we found out after he passed away that he was extremely in debt, and he saw no way out of it. So with all of that on his shoulders and nowhere to turn, I know when we talked with him a week before he died, he was happy. It was a great visit. And he made it sound to me and Mike and his sister Sydney that everything was fine and he would be back spring break last year. And 2 days later, he was gone. He had just purchased a gun for his 21st birthday, which was a month before that. So when I got news he had passed, I knew that that's what it was. I just felt it. So anyway, my son was a believer. He accepted Christ when he was 13 years old, and he followed him. He trusted in the Lord, and even until his last week, he was praising God, and we were talking about the Lord, and he was, upset that he had all these physical struggles, but then he understood that God was using it for a purpose. So to me, Tyler is in heaven, and I had this vision, and sometimes when people have visions and dreams, it's like, was it really you concocting it in your head, or whatever. But I believe that God gave me a picture of Tyler in heaven, and I talked about it in one of my videos, and it was a beautiful, beautiful picture of him and how he looks in heaven. And God gave it to me, I believe, to comfort me in my distress and just the pain that last year held for our family. I know, I just don't have any doubt that he's not there. So these people who leave comments to say that basically my son's burning in hell, I don't appreciate it, but then I will not accept it. I'm rejecting that. That is not the truth. He suffered. He suffered physically and mentally, just as people do physically with cancer and, you know, just random diseases. They die and they go to heaven if they're saved, if they truly confess their sin and believe in Jesus Christ and what he did on the cross. How different is that? How different is mental illness from a physical disease such as cancer? There are people Christians, who love the Lord, who die in a car accident. I know of one in particular who was road raging and died. He died, you know, and people say, well, suicide's a sin. Well, we all die in sin. We all are born in sin. But road rage, anger, that's a sin. So God knows the heart. God knows what he's doing, and I fully trust that. And I will reject anything otherwise said. I don't know if this person is trying to hurt me in any way. I don't understand why they would make that comment, if at all. I mean, you think what you want, but why? How do you find that helpful? So I love this person. I don't know him, but when I read that, I just prayed for him. I just opened my heart and just was like, that person must be sad to have that belief. So anyway, I feel like I need to shut off comments on my videos from now on, especially when I just talk about the Lord and the death of Tyler, you know, and I don't know. There's good and bad to it. I don't know. I'm on my phone. I'm not really savvy on how to do certain things like shut comments off and block comments or people or whatever. But I'm gonna try it. So anyway, I just want to also say that I did see some of the comments that came through on that last video, and I didn't have time to respond because I was driving. I was out all day and night, in the evening, into the evening. And by the time I got home, I was able to respond. I saw that the video was really messed up. So I deleted it and thought I would start this one and just thank those that commented and that I did get to see him. So anyway, guys, I'm kind of winded. But we went out for ice cream tonight and a hamburger, and just felt like, yeah, I need to probably get out and, I don't know, burn off some of these calories, even though I enjoy eating like that, probably more than I should. Anyway, guys, hopefully I will get back on sooner than later. All right, talk to you later. Bye.